Hey, what's up guys? This is Mike, and I'm going to show you today how I make my homemade airsoft hand grenades. These are really cool because they shoot out BBs from the top, from the sides, from the bottom. This is not the same grenade that you've seen on other videos or other people have. I have actually taken some older designs that I used to use and some other things I've seen other people do, and I re-engineered it and made it a lot better so these grenades are safe and they're very effective. But most important, they're safe now. Here's what you're going to need to make these grenades. You're going to need a power drill. If you have a power drill, that will work just fine. If you have a drill press, that's going to work even better. You're going to need a 4-inch angle grinder. That's going to do cutting for you, some grinding for you, because a lot of these parts you're going to have to make them fit. They don't make parts, you're going to have to make the parts. But the good thing is it's very simple. You can get these caps from Home Depot or Wilcon Depot. They have two different sizes. This size and this size. One is probably about maybe about 2 inches, and the other is maybe about 1.5 inches or so. Doesn't really matter the size. It matters that you can get a cap and you can get the internal piece so that they match and line up. With these bigger grenades, I go to the plumbing section. I buy aluminum. It usually comes in a 10 or 12 inch piece. It's the bottom part to a sink drain. If you get it in aluminum, steel's probably better, but I couldn't find it to fit perfectly in here in steel, so I used aluminum for these ones. So you take your cap and your aluminum piece, slide it together, and then take another one of these caps and slide it on. So of course you cut it so it perfectly slides in and goes as far as it can. That's important. And then the other piece goes in and sits flush. You don't want a gap in between here, and you don't want it to be loose. Use your grinder, keep grinding it down until you make it perfect. So once you put your other cap on, then you're going to drill 4 screw holes. You want to drill one here, and then one on the opposite side. And then on the bottom piece, one here, and one on the opposite side. I'll show you one of my grenades to give you an idea what I mean. So the holes are staggered. I've got one hole on the bottom here, and the next one is on the top. So every 1/4 of the way around. One here, and then one here, and then one here. That keeps the grenade intact with the plastic PVC cap and the metal, so nothing can move. So when your firecracker goes off, it's not going to fall apart because it's held all the way through the PVC and all the way through the metal piece in the middle. Okay, so when you screw that, you're going to need drill bits. Got a 4mm metal drill bit. I've got a 5mm metal drill bit, and I've got a 6mm metal drill bit. You need all of these. For the screws, if you're using screws that are close to 4mm in size, use the 4mm drill bit, and you're going to drill those holes. There's one, there's two, there's the third one you're going to drill, and the fourth one. It's very important that you drill these holes first, and then take all of your screws, put them in, and screw them in, hold everything into place. Because if you start drilling without putting your screw holes in first, everything's going to shift and your holes will not line up with the holes in the center. And it's very important that those holes line up with the metal piece in the center. So basically you'd have all your pieces put together nice and snug. You use a Sharpie marking pen, you lay out your design that you want. Put all of your BB holes where you want them, and then drill the ones in the top. You don't want to make too many. For this bigger size, this one I think is probably about 60, maybe 60 BBs or so. Smaller one, probably about 30 or 32 BBs. You want them spaced out far enough so the integrity of the metal in the center stays intact. You don't want them too close together where that middle metal piece is not very strong. So even with the aluminum, I've got different patterns I've tried, and all of the patterns work, just so long as you have a big enough space in between so that the grenade stays really strong. If you've seen this pull pin I have on top, this is actually just for decorations. It's a cotter pin with a key ring. You can use those to hook them onto your vest or hook them onto something so they're readily available. It doesn't do anything. The wick from the firecracker comes out of here, so you don't use this for anything except holding those grenades on you. Okay, so you've got your 4 holes in, 2 holes on your top cap, 2 holes on your bottom cap. And then you take your 5mm drill bit. You're going to drill all the holes in your pattern. You notice the metal won't move because it's screwed in with 2 screws on this cap and 2 screws on the other. Drill the 5mm all the way through the PVC and through the metal. Do that on both of those. Once you've drilled all of your 5mm holes, then you're going to take everything apart. take that cap out and put it off to the side. Now you're going to have something that looks like this. You're going to have just your PVC pieces with no metal. Then you're going to take your 6mm drill bit and you're going to drill through the plastic. So put it into those 5mm holes you drilled and drill all of those holes out, bore them out, make them a little bit bigger. It's very important that these holes on the outside are 6mm and the holes on your metal on the inside are 5mm. Reason being, when you put BBs in these holes, they're going to fit nice and snug in a 6mm hole, and when they get to that 5mm hole, they're going to butt up against it, and they're going to stop. It's actually going to help grab and hold those BBs in place so your BBs don't fall out when you throw this. So you'll have 5mm holes on the inside, 6mm holes on the outside. So once again, aluminum for the big ones. I use a different material for the smaller ones. With these caps, I couldn't find any aluminum that fit in there, so I found something better. This used to be a double-threaded nipple for connecting two pipes together. So I had to, takes probably about 5 minutes worth of grinding on the angle grinder. I ground off all the threads, and then I had to shave off probably about 1/4 of an inch or so that way it would fit inside of my cap. The steel is a lot stronger than the aluminum, so it's good to use. I just couldn't find perfect size steel ones to fit in here, but all the times I've used these, never had a problem with aluminum or the metal. I have had a problem though with plastic. My very first design, I actually took these caps and I put another piece of PVC in the middle to see if that was strong enough. That's what happens. So if you use a firecracker that's too strong, or you're trying different fireworks to see which one's going to be the best, the PVC in the middle is not very strong. I don't recommend it. It'll rip your grenade apart if you use the wrong firework. If you use a firework that's too weak, it's not going to be strong enough to force all the BBs out. So steel or aluminum, both are perfect. The reason why these are safe is when that firecracker explodes, all of that gas inside expands very quickly, goes through the 5mm holes that you drilled into the 6mm holes, forcing those BBs out all at once. So however it lands doesn't matter. You're getting hit with BBs in the front, BBs on the top, BBs on the side, and at every angle in between. No material from the firework can come out of this. It actually stays contained inside of your grenade, so that helps make it really, really safe. So these would be great to throw outdoors where you're afraid that maybe there's going to be a field fire or something. You're not going to have that with these grenades because the firework, the remains of it, the hot paper, stays inside of it. I'll show you what I use. Let's see, which one do I have that's open? Okay, I'm here in the Philippines, and we don't have the same kind of firecrackers that I had when I'm in the US. So I'll show you what I use. First, this is popular here. They're homemade in Bulacan. These are called 5 stars. This is what it looks like. It's called a different name in the US. These are horrible fireworks. They're very dangerous and very unsafe. The fuses are handmade, and you never know how long the fuse is going to last. Most of the time you light it, and within a split second the firework blows up. So these are really, really unsafe. If you want to use these, you have to take the fuses out and buy better fuse material, which is what I did. Buy a better fuse material like this, these slow burning fuses. So you can take these fuses, put them into here. Now you have a generally safe firework. This fits inside of the grenade no problem. I also found these. They look like a small soccer ball, and they're filled with gunpowder. They also came with a really small fuse. So I took those fuses out. I put longer fuses in it. So what's really, really cool about those is that when you light them, those fuses last, a long fuse like that will probably last about 5 to 6 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and open up one of these grenades and show you. I just unscrew and take out the screws. Actually, I really only need to take out 2 of the screws. So I would take my firework, I would insert it through my hole and put this back together. Now you see why I made the fuses really long. So for the big fireworks, I want them to stick out. When I light these, I light them, I wait till the fuse goes all the way down and into the grenade before I throw it. That still gives me another 1.5 inches or so worth of fuse, so I still got another 2 to 3 seconds before that grenade goes off. The reason why I want to do that is because if I light it and I throw the grenade really hard, or hit something, bounces off something, the fuse hits something else, that fuse could extinguish and the grenade would be a dud. I'd have to put another firework in it, and I hate when that happens. So I found out that if I light it and I let it get all the way to the hole, then I throw it, no wind or exterior force can affect the fuse anymore because it's already inside the firework. And I know exactly where it's in because I was the one that placed it in. It's sitting right here at the bottom. And like I said, that fuse has another 1.5 inches or so, which I've timed out to be about 2 to 3 seconds depending. So you can time those grenades really well. Like I said, when that blows up, all the BBs blow out. You'll get about 90 to 95% of the BBs will blow out of there. These are really durable too. People ask me, oh, do these break? I've thrown them against walls really hard like a baseball just to test them. They don't even crack. I've thrown them in games. They bounce off the ceiling, off of rafters, off of cement. I've skipped them across cement floors a good 150 feet or so, blowing people up, and no problems at all. The reason why I use the green caps, find these at Wilcon Depot. I don't think they have them at Home Depot, but here in the Philippines, this is a hot and cold water PVC cap, so it's made with a really flexible yet super strong material. You could also use, if you're in Home Depot in the US, you'll have no problem finding these end caps. They're Schedule 40 PVC and they're pressure rated. These work great too, but I think these green ones are a lot stronger and more cool because I don't have to paint them. I'd rather have the grenades looking green. So once again, these are my homemade grenades. They come in large size, medium size. I used to make a really small one, but they just don't hold as many BBs, and these ones fit the fireworks that I use perfectly. So if you have any other questions, you can leave me a comment, ask me a question, or if you're one of my friends on Facebook, I also post a lot of my videos there too. You can ask questions on things that are more specific that maybe I didn't get into detail as much. Check my channel later. I have some tests that I've done where I've lit them and they've blown up, and you could see the effects they have on people, what they sound like, and how they work. I'll be posting some of those videos later. I just wanted to make sure I got this one out here because I don't like people complaining that they don't have grenades and it's not fair. So now everybody knows how to make grenades. You can make them too, and you can throw them back during the games at me if you want to. So hopefully you enjoyed this, and make them, and make sure you make them with metal on the inside so they are safe. Have fun. We'll see you out on the airsoft field.